And hello, welcome to the show. It is Thursday, June 24th, 2021. Welcome back to the Ram Show. It's been a couple weeks. Hello, Zach. How's it going?
Fine.
So, yeah, just scheduling conflicts and other fun things like that. Hey, I finally put the new webcam in place and I'm using it now, so it probably looks way better. Although I'm actually looking over at the little box for your feed, and it looks like absolute garbage.
What a good webcam looks like, to be honest. I don't.
What did you say?
I don't even know what a good webcam looks like. I don't use one.
I know. I wish you would get one, because I wish we could see you. Let's see here. I'll turn that off for just a second and turn it back on. Ooh, that looks way better. Okay. Cool. Now if you've got the preview up, you can actually see it pretty decently now. So, anyway. Topics for this week. What does Apple think about sideloading iOS apps, Zach?
I would hazard a guess that they're not fond of it.
Yeah, no, not really. Also, hold on. I'll have to check your audio in a second because you sound very quiet this week.
Imagine doing anything that Apple didn't say you could do.
Yeah, oh yeah, you are a little quiet. I'm going to turn you up just a little bit here. Okay, cool. Also, chip shortage. What chip shortage, Zach?
I don't know. Never heard of it.
We're going to talk a little bit about that and what maybe to expect with it. Yeah. Oh yeah, the big news, Zach. What has Microsoft announced?
Oh God.
Oh.
It's not going to be good, is it?
You know, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. There's some I saw something that's not going to make you happy, and it didn't make me happy either. So, we'll talk.
It, like, include a printer or something?
Speaking of printers, actually, I just acquired a new one. So
imagine owning a printer in 2021.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that. Some new Google security when it comes to Google Drive may cause some problems. Yep. And the Supreme Court says that a school cannot basically get mad at a teen for something that they did on Snapchat. So, yeah.
That sounds like a bundle of fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And with that, let's roll the intro. You know, I can't hear that in my headphones anymore, so I'm not actually sure how loud that actually was, but anyway. Yeah, let's get into the topics for this week. So, we know that the giant battle is, I think, still going on between Apple and Epic. I would guess so. I haven't heard any...
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
I haven't heard anything about that. In a new 16-page report, Apple has laid out its argument against allowing sideloading iPhone apps.
16 pages? They could have summed it up in one line. It costs us money.
Actually, no. I would imagine that Apple would go on about security.
We all know that they're going to go and do like mental gymnastics about how...
Oh, here it is! Here it is!
Your security! Oh,
here it is, Zach!
Your privacy! But, like, Apple doesn't give a crap about either of those things. They want your money.
Here it is, Zach, claiming the practice would, make its phones less secure and trustworthy for users.
Surprising no one.
The report, which is titled, you'll get a kick out of this. It's titled Building a Trusted Ecosystem for Millions of Apps. And outlines Apple's existing security practices and how it believes these could change if it were forced by regulators to allow sideloading. Okay, look, hang on. Android allows this functionality, and there doesn't seem to necessarily be all that many problems there.
You know, Google also has let straight up like malware onto the Play Store, so you're not necessarily even safe there. Turns out if you download sketchy software, it's probably sketchy, no matter where you got it.
Remember that app that we talked about last show that was like, it wouldn't let you use it unless you gave it like a 3 or more star review? Like, okay, so Apple wants to talk about like security and like, oh, we spend all this money to develop the App Store and make it a safe ecosystem, and like we look at things super like, you know, closely and things like that. Like, really? Yeah, something like that got through.
Scummy and unsafe are two separate things. So
you're right, but if they're letting hang on, if they're letting scummy stuff through though, what else might they allow through? It doesn't give them a great argument for, oh, security.
You're not wrong.
That's my thing there. So, the report is part of Apple's pushback against lawmakers and other critics who have argued that it should be forced to allow apps to be sideloaded onto its iPhones, bypassing its centralized App Store. In the US, the House Judiciary Committee is expected today to debate a series of bills. When was this written, actually? This was written on the 23rd, so yesterday. To debate a series of bills aimed at addressing tech monopolies, including Apple's App Store policies. One such bill, sponsored by Representative, David Cicilline? I gotta remember not to try to say names on this show, because I always butcher them. He's the chairman of Antitrust, or the Antitrust Subcommittee, and could force Apple to allow third-party app stores on its platform, Bloomberg notes. Yeah. Elsewhere, the EU's proposed Digital Markets Act, or DMA, could compel Apple to allow sideloading of apps. The current DMA language that is being discussed would force sideloading on the iPhone, Apple CEO Tim Cook previously said, according to CNBC. This alternative way of getting apps onto the iPhone would destroy its security, the CEO argued. Epic also argued for Apple to allow sideloading in its recent high-profile trial with the company. Look, okay, yes, okay. Having this kind of gatekeeper, you know, app store, right? Yeah, it's going to help improve security, right? But, like, okay, come on. People are using the internet, you know, Safari on their devices, right?
Yes, of course they are.
Is it not arguable that you could probably catch something just as bad through Safari?
Wouldn't be surprised if it was possible.
It's probably uncommon. I mean, okay, yes, phones do get viruses, but I think it's a lot more uncommon than it is for a computer per se. But like, this whole theory of security that Apple just continues to want to push, right? I guess one of my arguments would be for Apple that at that point is so what do? Lock down their browser too?
Well, it's security is the best camouflage they have to claim that they're acting in your interest.
But again, I would argue,
like, it's completely just a corporate facade.
Oh, for sure.
Nothing.
But I would again still continue to argue the fact that people can get into just as much much trouble by opening a web browser. And they do.
Well, and even if opening a web browser even if when you open a web browser, it may or may not be common to have your device be quote unquote compromised by doing this, right? But there are certainly plenty of other opportunities to get screwed over by a malicious person using a web browser.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They don't have to compromise your device.
No. I've gotten a couple people that have come in and they're freaking out because they think their device has a virus on it, right?
Probably just a pop-up ad.
It is. It's one of those windows that pops up in a browser that is designed to scare the heck out of non-technical people. And I look at it and I say, oh, yeah, this is just a fake web page, and close it, and then they can return back to their normal life.
Yes.
So... Oh, and, okay, so this is another thing right here. So Apple already allows sideloading on its Mac computers. I would argue a computer is probably more vulnerable to a software attack than a phone is.
Well, we're also blurring the line more and more between phones and computers, too.
That's true. That is true. No, wait, hang on. No. Your iPad is basically just a glorified cell phone, and Apple wants to claim that that's a computer.
Well, precisely. That actually solidifies my point, because like Apple doesn't even, they say it's a computer, but we say it's a glorified phone. So I mean it.
Okay.
We can't even agree on what it is.
Hang on. I think that distinction of what it actually is, though, is something that we need to take a look at, because...
What if we called it a tablet?
Okay, yes, it is a tablet, but at its core, for all intents and purposes, right? This is a computer. But so is this. So is my phone. Oh, and I don't have my watch on, but so is my watch. It is technically a computer. It depends on where you want to bridge that gap, though, Like, what is the definition of a computer, Zach?
I don't feel like it's even worth treating phones differently than computers.
But, where's that distinction? What justifies it as a computer? Is a computer a physical device with a keyboard and a screen and a mouse? Is that what a computer is?
Absolutely not.
Or is it
I mean, that's a computer, but it's not the only way you could call it a
or
computer.
is a phone an electrical device with a, SoC on it that is capable of crunching ones and zeros? Is that a computer? But then by that logic, is anything that can crunch ones and zeros a computer? A calculator is technically a computer at that point. Actually, I would argue a calculator is a computer. But I think, when you look...
is.
I think when you look at that, though, right? And that's where that distinction has to be made, is computer, right? But Apple wants to treat this device, right? The iPad, as I wouldn't say a desktop, but a laptop, a laptop computer.
I mean... I can't think of any reason why there should be any justification for a hardware company restricting what you can and can't do with their device that you bought.
Hang on. Apple is not just a hardware company.
Ecosystem company. Whatever they want to call themselves. I don't care. The point is, you bought a physical device from them that has a processor and storage, and it's basically a computer.
Hang on. Okay,
I can do whatever I want with it.
Let me put
I want to install software that says I'm going to brick your device now.
Hang on.
And I choose to do that and push the button that says brick the device. Apple better let me do it.
No. Hang on. Let me play devil's advocate right here. Okay? So, yes, I own the physical device, right?
Oh, but you don't own the software.
I don't own the software. Oh. Exactly. Okay, and hang on. You accepted the terms and conditions.
You don't own the rights to make money off the software. So that was fair. If you were doing something, if you were like somehow modifying the software to make money and like redistributing it as your own to make money, well, they could. I'm sure they would send an army of lawyers after you, and you'd probably get shut down.
Okay, but something terms and conditions that basically state that, like, well, my favorite one is
like one of your kidneys now after you buy their device.
One of my favorite ones in those, though, is, and don't get me wrong, you know, I would totally use it, but is that clause in there that's like, we reserve the right to update these terms and conditions whenever we feel like it, as it best, you know, pertains to us and fits our narrative. But, okay, but hang on, let's go back real quick. So if Apple, right, if Apple wants to claim, again, that this device is a computer, right? Now we have a problem. Because if this device is a computer, right, Apple has been allowing, as we said here, has been allowing sideloading on its Mac computers. Remember, according to Apple, this is a computer.
It should be able to sideload then.
I would argue that. But you know what Apple's argument is probably going to be? Oh yeah, but it doesn't run the same operating system.
Doesn't. You're right. You know, personally, I feel like everyone knows the writing is on the wall for them. Like, it's gonna happen. They're going to eventually be compelled to allow sideloading. It's gonna happen.
You know,
they just want to milk it for all it's worth before they do.
You know, Steve Jobs never envisioned an App Store. His idea of developers building apps for the iPhone was going to be all web-based apps.
Well, and Safari?
Yeah, yep.
Ouch.
Look, I mean, mobile websites have come a long way, but
a lot of lower effort apps are just browser containers.
You know, okay, yes, I believe that is true. And if I was going to design an app, I would design it as a browser container because, well, that's a lot easier for me to build. So, but yeah, so Apple has allowed sideloading of apps on its Mac computers for years, right? But hang on. It argues that this model doesn't work for iPhones because they carry more sensitive and personal information. What?
I don't know about you, but I also have lots of personal, sensitive information on my computer, too.
I would argue I have more personal and sensitive information on my computer. Guess what's on my computer, Zach? I run a business. Guess what part of running a business is? Keeping track of finances.
Financial information and stuff like that.
Yeah. Guess what program I use to do all my finance work on.
Oh, no. Oh no. Don't give me flashbacks and say QuickBooks.
Yep, it is QuickBooks. But, okay.
I was recently at a site for work, and this guy, no joke, we're about to pull out this guy's computer, and he's like, but what about my QuickBooks? He shows us his QuickBooks. It's from 2002! His QuickBooks can go buy cigarettes! His QuickBooks can join the army!
Wait, hang on.
His QuickBooks is old enough to join the army and go to war and buy cigarettes! What? His QuickBooks is almost old enough to drink! What? Why is he still using it?
Wait, no! Okay, hang on.
Get rid of it!
Hang on, no, it cannot buy cigarettes because the legal...
they changed it to 21, but whatever. It can join the army. His QuickBooks can join the army! Why? Why is he using it?
Oh, goodness. I'm surprised. QuickBooks makes you update every 3 years. We just had to do it for the church this year.
God knows he didn't. Honestly, I bet his QuickBooks was so old that they hadn't implemented that yet in the version that he had,
That's
and he just
probably-
stuck with it.
That's probably true.
Oh, and he had all kinds of stuff in there, and it was horrible.
Oh, you know, I
Do you know what we did? We gave him a new computer anyway, and he still has his old piece of garbage computer with his QuickBooks because his 19-year-old QuickBooks wouldn't run on Windows 10.
I wonder why.
I don't know why. Couldn't possibly know why.
I couldn't possibly figure that out.
Anyway, yeah, not good.
Oh my gosh.
Not good.
Oh, that is hilarious. Just Zach going off on a rant about QuickBooks.
No, I do not like QuickBooks.
Oh my goodness.
It had this like horrible like database thing too that he had to, well, because I was able to install it on the Windows 10 computer, but I would try to open his database and then it would just crash.
Yeah, I think some older softwares utilize like a separate database program or something like that. I don't know. Anyway.
No, it was a database file. I'm sure it was horribly screwed up anyway. No, we literally dug out his CD and installed it off of his CD.
Why didn't you just
He had the CD.
Why didn't you guys just update him to a newer version of QuickBooks?
Because we didn't even, when we went to the site, we didn't even know what we were going to be dealing with this guy. This QuickBooks thing was a complete surprise. And he wasn't supposed to be using it either, because corporate has like a standard software that they use for, I don't even know what people do with QuickBooks.
So QuickBooks is, okay.
But corporate has a standard program that they have all the sites for financy things, I don't know. But this dork was using QuickBooks for God knows what reason.
So no, okay. So the theory behind QuickBooks is that it's an accounting software, so it allows you to keep track of all of your accounts, basically. Yeah, without getting too far into accounting, and I'm no expert, but basically money in, money out, and where it's all going. And then at the end of the year, you can print reports and do other cool stuff like that. But, yeah, okay. I can understand why corporate would, I don't know, probably want to have one system in place. And I would guess that, I don't know how much you know about the accounting software, but I would guess that it's probably network-based so that multiple people can work from it in multiple departments, I would guess. Well, maybe not multiple departments, but... What'd you say?
But I'm sure I'm not in
That's not
accounting.
That's not your tier.
My tier?
That's not your tier of IT to support that.
IT doesn't support it at all.
Really? I would think they would...
IT gives them a server to run it on.
Yeah, and somebody has to maintain that server. So it is somebody's job to maintain that.
It doesn't really require much maintenance.
But it's not your tier to deal with. So.
Well, I mean, sometimes we have to deal with stuff like when they can't print from it, and when they have to like when the program slows down to a crawl, we go in services and restart it.
What was that story when you were at your previous employer where like there was a printer, but it was like on two different things? It was like kind of at an angle, and it just like decided it didn't want to work sometimes.
Oh yeah. Someone had like a printer that was propped up on like a stack of papers or something, and it was like tilted forward, just like a couple degrees. So whenever they tried to print, it would just jam, error. Because, it's a printer. It only knows how to error out every 2 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was working on it, and I couldn't figure it out. And I don't know, I guess I don't know. Maybe I picked it up and moved it somewhere and then put it back down, and it was level, and then it started working, and I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh my
Wasn't even, it was not at all a steep angle. It was literally just a few degrees.
I told you what happened with the office secretary at the church, didn't I? With their
all I have
printer.
To tell you is never trust a printer. Okay? Satan made what do we call a printer? Like, if Satan made computer hardware, printers would be his magnum opus.
Okay, I always call printers the
Crowning
cats.
achievement.
I always call printers the cats of the IT world. That's what I call them. No, cats like are bipolar and they'll like turn on you. Oh my goodness! So my ex had a cat, right? And it came sat like it crawled up into my lap and I was petting it, and it was perfectly happy. And then like, I don't know, it just decided, okay, well, I'm just gonna randomly bite you now.
That's not very nice.
No. So, yeah, that's why I call them.
Bite me either. I think that's really rude of them.
But no, I told you what happened with the office secretary's printer at the church, didn't I?
I don't know.
So I get a phone call from her, or maybe it was a text, but basically, she was having a problem where it kept jamming. And so I went down there one day and I looked at it and pulled the paper jam out and took the paper and flipped it upside down and put it back in. And it's been working fine ever since.
Make this up, can you?
Nope. So yeah, so back to this. So anyway, so Apple, as we've discussed, allows sideloading of apps on the computer, and they've been doing it for a while. But they're arguing that yes, basically there's more sensitive personal information on your phone. I call BS. Anyway, Apple's senior vice president of software engineering, Craig Federighi, I don't know. Anyway, recently argued during the company's trial with Epic Games that the Max model means that it has a level of malware that we don't find acceptable and is much worse than iOS. Okay. Allowing sideloading would degrade the security of the iOS platform and expose users to serious security risks, not only on third-party app stores, but also on the App Store. How does that expose you on the App Store? Apple's still going to, by no means, control what's on the store.
I mean, we've already discussed why, or how it's completely obvious that their quote-unquote approval process is, like, easily cheesed by people making garbage apps.
Yeah, apparently. But anyway, so Apple's new report says, which makes it even more interesting as to, so what exactly are you doing with that 30% cut that you're taking from app developers, Apple? Because apparently you're not using it to, I don't know, weed out scummy apps, even though you're saying that that's what the money is being used for.
Even
Hello?
weeding out scummy apps would probably not cost them as much as they're taking. There's no way.
I know, but it's just the fact that that's what they're claiming. Oh, we're using it to maintain the App Store.
Expensive people on the planet for that job, and it wouldn't cost them that much.
Yeah, we're using the money to maintain our App Store. Really? Really, and this is what's getting
your bank account.
And this is what's getting through. So anyway, yeah.
Using the money to maintain their bank accounts.
So anyway, yeah, Apple, yeah. See, okay, so here's the thing, right? If another country can find a way to basically make this a law, right? Because iPhones are sold in pretty much every, nook and cranny of the world.
Right.
Then, what does Apple do? They build a special release.
There's probably going to be a special version
special
for them
iOS
because
release.
They won't want to give up the milking in other regions.
See, I don't think so. I think at that point, Apple just says, all right, fine, whatever.
I mean, you saw what EA did when they were forced to remove the gambling from, like, FIFA or whatever. In Belgium?
Oh, did they create? Oh, yeah, that's right. They created a.
I think it was Belgium. They literally made like a Belgium version of the game with no gambling, and then if you weren't in Belgium, you got the gambling.
Good. I think other games have done that when it comes to things like nudity and other things like that.
Oh, they're like, I know there are like Germany has laws about, like
Oh, like violence, right?
swastikas and stuff like
Oh,
that,
yep.
that
Mm-hmm.
so like any
Okay,
games
hang
that
on, hang
might
on. Why would any right-minded game developer add something like that into a game in the first place?
maybe they were making a game that had Nazis in it.
That's not. No,
Look,
no, no,
you
no,
you
no,
probably you
no,
probably won't.
no. That's not a good idea. No, just
What?
no.
Look, all I'm saying is you probably can't buy Wolfenstein in Germany.
I'm just saying, like, why would a game developer do that? It just. I don't know. What a dark time in our world's history. Why would you, like.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. It, regardless of what it stands for, it is historically accurate.
I'm not saying it isn't historically accurate, but the connotation that goes with it is extremely poor. Why would a game developer build that into your game? Like, I don't know.
If they want to make a historically accurate setting, I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying, using it as an example. Okay?
I know you're using it as an example, but
like
I'm just saying it sounds like a bad idea. But anyway,
there are laws against that in Germany. That's it. Probably for good reason.
Oh, we're making a historically accurate, like, video with Nazis in it. Like, no, it just sounds like a horrible idea. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you can depict something without agreeing with it.
So, moving on, the chip shortage will likely get worse before it gets better. I am sure.
What chip shortage? I totally got a GPU on launch day.
So I know I didn't actually hear. Did Nvidia actually launch the new card that they said they were going to, or did they postpone
3080 Ti and 3070 Ti are things you can buy.
it?
If you're a computer pro.
Wait, yeah, you can buy them? Really? They're available?
If you're a bot, you can buy them, yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway.
That said, I'm not sure why you would buy them unless you are just desperate for a card, because they're basically scams.
So anyway, one of tech's biggest problems in the past few months has been due to one of its smallest components, chips. Months into the shortage, the effects have spread far beyond the difficulty of buying an Xbox Series X or PS5. Car companies are being hit the worst, and even home appliances might start to see issues with supply. That's not scary at all. Okay, I know we love tech, both me and you, Zach, but do you think our world is filled with too much tech?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I don't think so. I mean, really, this event isn't a sign that we have too much tech. It's a sign that the tech supply chain is royally screwed up.
I think that some of it comes from... Okay, well, actually, so I watched something interesting the other day. It is this theory of just-in-time production, basically, where you make just enough so that you don't have a bunch of extra on hand, right? And
you'd have to be able to make it very fast then.
Yeah, well, so Toyota basically kind of had this idea, right? This just-in-time manufacturing. And it works in some scenarios and not others. Plastics for the door panels. There's a ton of different companies out there that can make the plastics for the door panels, and they're relatively easy to get, and the market doesn't really get disrupted that much. When it comes to chips, semiconductors, there's not a ton of fabs out there that can make these things, right?
A shockingly high percentage of chips come from Taiwan.
Anyway, the point is that Toyota was like, well, maybe we should buy some extras. So it's why Toyota right now is one of the only auto companies that's actually doing okay-ish. Because they had a good supply of stuff. But basically this theory was that, well, having a bunch of extra inventory is bad, which is true in certain cases unless it's something that you can't get. So, anyway. Earlier this year, companies expected to have supply chain sorted and products more consistently back on the shelves by summer. But June is nearly over and there's seemingly no end in sight. And with the upcoming slate of big tech releases and the holiday shopping season coming up, expect things to get worse before they get better.
I'm surprised. Sorry, go ahead.
We had thought probably 6 or 7 months ago, like everyone else, that it would be relatively short term. A chief technology officer at John Deere commented on The Verge's Decoder podcast, but I think we're into this for the next 12 to 18 months. Holy mackerel. Anyway, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I forgot. Honestly, I don't even remember.
Oh my goodness. You'll think of it.
Remember.
Yeah. It's not just tractors and trucks, however, though. Intel CEO voiced similar sentiment, commenting in a Wall Street Journal interview back in April that it could be 2 years before production is able to ramp up. Well, Intel has its own problems. Just saying. Besides just manufacturing. Anyway.
Well, they're not sleeping, and let's hope that their new hardware impresses.
This will
I
take.
remember what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, with this whole shortage thing, it honestly surprises me a little bit that it isn't terribly difficult to get your hands on a phone.
Yes and no. So I thought I saw something about Samsung.
But am I wrong about that?
I don't know because I haven't really been looking for one. Now, there could be a couple reasons for that, though.
I haven't heard of anyone having difficulty getting one, so I presume you could just waltz into Best Buy and get a phone.
There could be a reason for that, which I'll explain in a second. Let me finish this real quick here. This will take a while until people can put more capacity in the ground. And AMD CEO Dr. Lisa Su noted at a May investor event that the company was being forced to prioritize its higher-end chips over lower power parts due to shortages. So when it comes to phones, right? So I believe I read something where Samsung actually is planning on maybe not even releasing a new phone this year because of the chip shortages.
Well, God knows they didn't need a new one every year. Gosh.
But some of it may be that, one, I think people are probably hanging on to the devices longer than they used to. But two, is probably the market. I mean, what is the secondary market, I'm sure that there are plenty of phones.
Pretty stagnant, I'll give you that.
I think that there are plenty of devices on the secondary market that are still out there. And you have to realize also that unlike computers, a phone takes up a lot less space, And so there's probably a decent stockpile of these things, I would guess.
I mean, phone or a CPU. It's really not.
You're right. Well, okay, but once the CPU is in the phone, then the phone is completed, right?
Well, no. I mean, let's say you compare a smartphone to a desktop CPU, right?
Okay.
It's not, we're not talking a huge size difference here. Especially the actual silicon that's underneath the heat spreader on that desktop.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the physical product itself. A phone is a lot smaller. It fits in a smaller box. It's easier to put more of these in a
warehouse?
In a warehouse and storage, right? Think about a computer, especially a desktop.
We're only talking about components like graphics cards and CPUs. I mean, motherboards aren't really in short supply, I don't think. I saw plenty of motherboards when I was at Micro Center the other day.
Yeah, but what about CPUs?
I didn't look at CPUs. I did check to see if they had any RTX cards. Of course they didn't. But they had a bunch of Quadros, though. And they had 6900 XTs. You want to know how much they were?
How much?
$2,300! The MSRP on that card for the reference model is $9.99, and even that is questionably priced. Like with the MSRP on the 800 XT being $650.
It is a really bad time to build a computer right now.
It's horrible. Like, imagine paying that much for it. What?
An incredible. Okay, actually, let me take that back. It is a very bad time to build a gaming computer right now.
I mean, CPUs are also not easy to get your hands on.
You're right. You're right. Remember, I was gonna go AMD for that build that I did for that church, and the processor I was looking at was out of stock, so I ended up going Intel. So, because it's what I could get my hands on.
I think I'm not gonna get a new CPU for a while, but I think that when they announce or when they release the next, the Zen 4 CPUs that probably won't be out for a while. But when they do, I'm going to grab a secondhand 5950X.
I don't know what I'm going to do with my system. I think I'm going to probably just sit on it for a while because it continues to do everything that I ask of it. And in normal day-to-day activities, it is way overpowered for what I need. It's nice when I want to do creative work. It's nice when I want to stream like this, but I haven't pushed this thing to its max yet. And so for me, it continues to be a good system that I just am happy with for now, and I probably won't upgrade for a little bit here. So not until, when the market kind of returns back to normal or more normal, right? Then at that point, I may start looking at upgrading some components.
I actually didn't even think about Intel, though. And Intel are slated to release some interesting hardware, so who knows? I mean, the landscape could change significantly.
This is true.
In the next year.
Yeah, but okay, remember we talked about Intel's new CPUs, and they dropped like 4 cores off of them?
Okay, but the current ones are a disaster, yes, but the ones that are upcoming could be significantly different. Well, are going to be significantly different, no doubt.
Significantly different in a good way or a bad way? That is what we have yet to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, no one has one to talk about.
So
But we don't know whether they'll be good or not, but
yeah, so there's 2 different forces at work here. For some products, there's too much demand, which impacts the higher end chips like the GPU in a PlayStation 5 or an RTX 3080 graphics card. While chip shortages have undoubtedly played a part, there's also simply more people who want to buy these products than there are enough to go around. And I think that's true too. Look, a lot of us were stuck inside of our homes and we were bored. And so what did we do? Hey, look, it's a perfect time to get a game console or build a computer. More supply or more demand, but not necessarily the supply to keep up with it. So, let's take a PS5 for instance, which is the fastest selling console in US history. And I'm not surprised, again, people are bored. They're looking for something to do. Despite the continued difficulty in purchasing one months after its launch, even if we secure a lot more devices and produce many more units of the PlayStation 5 next year, their supply won't be able to catch up with demand, a Sony CFO said in a private analyst briefing, according to Bloomberg. So, yeah. It will be interesting to see what happens during the holiday season. What I don't want to see happen, and we know will, is, the kid saying to the parents, I want a PS5. I want a PS5. Give me a PS5. Parents are looking. They're looking. They can't find one. So what do? They go to eBay and they pay a scalper way more money than it's worth, only encouraging the behavior.
it's not just those people. It's people who just don't want to sit and wait for one.
And the problem is, look, I realize that people want these products, right? But if we as a community could just kind of buck up and say, no, we're not going to do that. And just let these scalpers sit on all this inventory. But see, the problem is that the economics just are never going to work that way. But, you know, that's what it would take, is the community basically saying, nope, we're not going to do it. Scalpers sit on all this inventory. And then they basically just don't get the reward that they're wanting. But they know people are going to buy these products for those astronomical prices. It's why they continue to do it. So it's frustrating. And yeah.
The other factor is that even without the scalpers, there are so many normal customers who want these consoles.
Exactly. You know, where I really put some blame is on the retailers that have not built strong enough, solutions to prevent bots from basically buying up all the inventory. So there's definitely a lot of fault there. They need to develop better systems. NVIDIA! Come on, guys! You knew that the same exact thing was going to happen when you launched this new series of cards. And what did they do? Nothing.
They took a cut of the scalper money by increasing the price.
But you're also increasing the price for your end user, your consumer, the end consumer, who probably can't get the device anyway, or the component anyway. So, yeah, there needs to be a better solution in place. And I blame also, sites like eBay, who should be doing a better job of pulling these listings. But I don't know. There's a lot of blame that can go around.
There wasn't a shortage, none of this would matter.
Yeah, that's probably true. Look, a scalper is, they're taking advantage of the, it's entrepreneurship there, but it's not a correct way to do it. It's not a kosher way to do it, but they don't care, because they know that some poor soul who can't wait is going to purchase this from them, and they're going to make a huge, they're going to have a huge payday. So, but I really think that retailers and secondary retailers could do a better job of, cracking down on this behavior. So, and you know what? It's not that they can't even do it. They did it during the pandemic when people were selling hand sanitizer and masks at astronomical prices. So, it's not like they can't do it. They can. I don't know why they haven't put the effort into it. Maybe because they don't care? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about what everyone came here for today. And that is the Microsoft news. Oh, and the release of Windows 11, Zach.
I'm not looking forward to Windows 11, that's for sure. I didn't even watch the presentation. I couldn't be bothered.
I didn't watch the presentation either.
But I did see some screenshots floating around, and one of the first ones I saw touted Teams integration. Just what I wanted, Microsoft. Fools.
So I'm going to pull something real quick here. Oh shoot. Okay. So Zach, let's see here. Boink. There we go. Okay. So, can you, oh. What the heck? Oh. Hold on. That's not right. Sorry, something weird just happened there. All right, well that was weird. Some settings got changed around in OBS apparently, so it was okay. Hang on. All right, so there we go. Okay, can you see the little preview window, Zach?
Yes, I can.
So, okay. So this is a picture of what the new Windows 11 is supposed to look like. I want you to pay attention to the taskbar down there.
Full of garbage.
What I'm more specifically talking about is this area right here. I don't know if you can see the actual taskbar where the buttons are. Not the actual menu, but the actual taskbar
No,
itself.
no, the taskbar also full of garbage.
I would agree, right? Now, something interesting though, right? So.
Yes, it's in the middle.
Do you notice something?
That wasn't my first thought, but it's a thing, I guess.
That was my first thought is, oh, look, they've taken the Apple idea. You've got your nice little dock down there, right?
Go back to the maybe, I guess. I don't know. You could almost make the argument that it already is that way, though.
No. They centered the buttons.
Yeah. Apparently, there will be an option to offset them to the side if you want, which I will be using.
I think this looks dumb.
Do you think they've purged the control panel finally? Freaking losers.
Gosh, I hope not.
They probably have. You have to use that like insufferable settings menu now.
I'm getting used to it, but there's still things I can't find. The one that irritates me the most is whenever I go to look for... oh, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Whenever I go to look for like any of the sound settings, anytime I need to change a sound setting, whether it's a microphone or like the inputs and outputs, I can't find what I'm looking for in the new settings menu. It's frustrating.
Yes.
It irritates the heck out of me. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, let me see if there's any good. Oh, of course, they've got a dark mode, and well, there's Edge, because who cares about Edge?
No one.
So basically, okay. So I guess part of my understanding of the new design was that it was taken from Windows X, which was designed to be more of a like a mobile platform, basically, right? So like iOS, iOS, right? Oh, and the other thing is that apparently it is supposed to try to bridge the gap between the desktop and the mobile platform. Zach,
there really should be.
Hang on.
Versions of it.
Zach, hasn't Microsoft tried that in the past before?
Yes, with the Surface.
I think that was a thing with what
Windows 8.
Yeah, what operating system was that? Windows 8?
Yeah, they did.
What remind me what Windows 8 was again?
Hated.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Look, granted, okay, they didn't get rid of the start menu this time. But it still looks abominable. It looks like junk. At least, okay, that start menu, what is that thing? What is it?
Kind of trash.
I do not like the design of that. What was wrong? See, so Microsoft implemented this tablet mode thing in Windows 10. What was wrong with that? I don't know. So anyway, Microsoft is officially confirming the name for the next release of Windows 11. Oh yeah, don't you remember that Microsoft was like, oh yeah, there will never be another version of Windows ever again. Windows 10 is the end.
No.
Now, when they said that, did you honestly believe that was ever true?
No.
No, God, no, I don't think anyone ever believed that.
There would never be another version of Windows until Microsoft got bored.
After months of teases, hints, and the number 11, or hints of the number 11, and a giant Windows 11 leak, Microsoft's new operating system is official. The big focus for Windows 11 is a simplification of the Windows user interface. Again, Microsoft just does not learn, do they? They tried that with Windows 8, and people hated it. They don't learn. Yeah, so a simplification of the Windows user interface. A new Windows Store? Really? Microsoft wasted time on the store. Have you ever once used the store, Zach?
I have regrettably tried to use the store a few times when there were certain applications that were in the store only because God knows why, I don't know. And that I somehow could not hunt down an installer for elsewhere. All attempts, however, to use the store have failed due to my refusal to get a Microsoft account.
Oh, yep. Yep. Also, let's see. Improvements to performance and multitasking. Windows 11 will also include support for running Android apps for the first time. That's actually kind of neat.
That is pretty cool. I actually didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Why they do that, I don't know, but hey, it's cool.
Pretty neat. The first thing you'll notice about Windows 11 is that it includes a new start menu and an updated start button that are both centered on the taskbar. Yeah, and look like they completely ripped them off from Apple. Anyway, this UI is very similar to what we saw in Windows 10X, a project originally planned for dual screen devices that Microsoft eventually canceled. I wonder why. A lot of the UI work that went into Windows 10X is appearing in Windows 11. Yeah, well, just recycle it, right? The new start menu drops the live tiles that were originally introduced with Windows 8 and opts for more of the typical launcher you find in Chrome OS or Android. Yes, it does remind me of Chrome OS.
I don't like that. I want a desktop OS.
I know.
Not this mobile crap.
There are apps recently. Recent documents, and a separate search interface.
They could really do themselves some favors by including options specifically for desktop users to make it more like previous versions of Windows.
Now, hold on, though. Okay. Again, playing devil's advocate here, though. Me and you...
Don't have to be requirements, just options.
No, okay, but me and you are heavy desktop users, right?
Yes.
But what is most of...
Dum-dums, yes.
What are most consumers moving towards?
Dum-dums, I know. That's why I said options.
I agree.
Just options for madmen like us, please.
Unfortunately, we are in the minority in that category.
Yeah, I know.
So much
I'm
of the
sure we'll
center.
be stuck with this garbage. I don't know. Maybe
Hmm.
maybe there will be third-party modifications made to please people like us. I
I'm
don't know.
sure. Much of the centered appearance is clearly influenced by Mac OS and Chrome OS, and Windows 11 also includes the rounded corners we've seen in both Android and iOS. Windows chief Panos Panay says the team has obsessed over every detail. Windows 11 will also include updated dark and light modes that look a lot better than what we've seen in Windows today. I don't know about you, but I don't really use a dark theme.
No, I don't either.
There's also something Microsoft is calling Snap Layouts, which allows you to quickly snap apps into the various modes that Windows 11 supports. This new version of Windows 11 will also remember where your apps are stored, thanks to something called Snap Groups. Look, okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, I'll give them that. It looks like a useful way to support multiple monitors and ensure that apps always open on the correct screen. Again, I can appreciate that. That's particularly helpful if you're using a laptop hooked to a monitor or a traditional desktop machine with multiple displays. Performance is also a big focus for Windows 11. Windows updates are 40% smaller and more efficient as they now happen in the background. Oh, joy. That doesn't mean that Microsoft can figure out any way not to break the operating system any more than they already have. Just saying. Hopefully that will mean Windows 11 doesn't disrupt you in the middle of work. Well, we can hope. Or, hang on,
that
Zach.
You can just group policy out the updates if you feel like.
Zach, a way that would prevent Windows from ever disrupting you during your work?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe a magical thing that allowed you to, and I'm just spitballing here. This magical thing that allows you to decide, not only how the updates are delivered to your system, but whether you would like the operating system to handle that, or you manually handle. I'm just spitballing here, Zach.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they will never bring that back. Because apparently there are too many just dumb users out there. So yes, I agree with you. Options. But, it's been said before, why couldn't Microsoft build the operating system in a way where, by default, it just automatically installs the updates, right? And then if you really are a power user that doesn't want that, you have the option to turn it off.
Money.
Yeah, except for the problem that, you can't build a update to save your life, Microsoft. Oh, yeah, something. Oh, yeah, you didn't need that file. We're just going to delete it for you. No big deal.
You don't want that. We know.
No big deal. Yeah. Anyway, Microsoft is also integrating Microsoft Teams directly into Windows 11 for consumers. Oh boy. It is integrated directly into the taskbar, allowing Windows 11 users to call friends, family, or coworkers.
No one uses Teams. Get the hint, Microsoft. No one likes Teams. No one uses it.
So when we had, something worldwide national pandemic, by the way, Zach, your push to talk is not working right now.
Huh?
Your mic is stuck on. Just FYI. So, anyway, but okay, worldwide pandemic, right? People are wanting to communicate with their family. Where did everyone go, Zach?
Home?
No. What app did they?
Zoom?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Zoom. Why not Microsoft Teams? It clearly says here they're going to integrate it directly into the taskbar so that users can call friends, family, and coworkers.
Putting it down my throat makes me hate it more, Microsoft. Makes me more inclined to go out of my way to avoid using it.
Yeah, it's clear that this is a big shift away from Skype, which was bundled as part of Windows 10, and there's even a universal mute button in the system tray so you can easily mute your microphone across all apps. That's actually kind of neat. I'm in a very love-hate relationship with Microsoft a lot of times. Because it's like, okay, they implement this one really kind of cool thing, and then they just like destroy that thing by implementing all this other stupid garbage into the operating system. Like a perfect example, like the ability to run Android apps on the operating system. Like that's pretty cool. But integrating Microsoft Teams directly into Windows 11, like, no thank you. Windows widgets and touch gestures are also a big part of Windows 11. Oh, yeah, they're bringing back the gestures again. Do you remember the charms bar? Microsoft really just doesn't learn, do they? Hey, remember that thing that everyone hated? Yeah, let's just bring it back. Maybe they'll like it this time. I really don't know, Zach. Windows widgets and touch gestures are, yes, going to be a big part of Windows 11. Widgets is a personalized feed powered by AI. Oh, boy. Whoop-de-doo. And it builds on the widgets you've seen Microsoft implement or introduce in Windows 10. It slides in from the left-hand side of Windows 11, and you can also make it full screen. Built-in widgets include a newsfeed, weather, and maps. Woo-hoo. See, so they're also improving the gestures you can use on tablets and touch targets. Coupled with the improvements to inking and voicing typing with certain pens, Windows 11 will also support haptic feedback. Xbox is a big part of Microsoft, and we also got to hear from Xbox executives about PC gaming with Windows 11. Okay, so they're going to implement that in. Microsoft is also promising speeds and performance improvements for Windows 11. I wonder about that. You know where I see a lot of performance decrease or performance hits in Windows 10?
Do tell.
Could it possibly be the automatic updates that it does in the background?
Yes.
Yeah, funny how that works. Yeah. Let's see. Direct storage will be a part of Windows 11. A new big feature from the Xbox Series X. Xbox Game Pass is being integrated into Windows 11. Yeah, and then one of the biggest parts of Windows 11 is the new store and support for Android apps on Windows. The store is going to be redesigned and will support a whole host of apps that haven't typically been available in the Windows App Store, which includes apps from Adobe Creative Suite and Android apps including TikTok and Instagram. I mean, okay, I guess the idea behind that is somewhat cool. We'll see how app developers actually develop them for the desktop, though. That'd be, I guess, the interesting thing to see if they actually look any good. I love this, though. Developers can use their own commerce engines, and Microsoft won't take a cut. Ooh! Yep. Developers can even use their own payment systems if they want to. Windows has always stood for sovereignty for creators, says Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. It's also going to run Android apps. Microsoft has partnered with Amazon and Intel to make this a reality, and Windows 11 will be using Intel Bridge technology to bring this to life. There's no release date for Windows 11 yet, but Microsoft has promised to make it available as a free upgrade to Windows 10 users this holiday. Okay. We're expecting Windows 11 to appear at some point in October alongside new hardware running the operating system. How many devices do you think it's just going to auto-update to? Oh, did I lose you?
I said so many.
Oh. So many. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I need to go find it real quick here. So, I guess I'm curious. Are you sticking with Windows 10 or would you consider moving to Windows 11?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, here's something that might make you reconsider. If I can find it. Oh, yep, here it is. So Microsoft unveiled Windows 11 on Thursday, which I guess is today, and its least expensive version, Windows 11 Home, will now require internet connection at setup. Oh, and a Microsoft account.
That makes me want to puke.
Yep. Previous versions would let you opt out of Microsoft's accounts by creating a local account instead, though the company didn't necessarily make it easy to find and pushed you to use Microsoft's login instead. You know what it actually, I don't know if this is still true, but you know what I did at one point? I did actually go into the Microsoft store at one point and I think try to download something, and I signed into my Microsoft account, and guess what magically happened?
The Microsoft account became like integrated into the PC now, probably.
Oh yeah, my user account was no longer a local account.
Very dirty.
I did not ask for that. Oh,
probably
I was
formatted my PC if that happened.
I was pissed.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, the internet requirement may make sense since Windows 11 will largely be delivered via a Windows update, like many of the updates to Windows 10. So you need an internet connection to install it on your PC. But yeah, the fact that you're going to have a Windows account tied to it, no, thank you. So.
Yeah, that's just not gonna work.
You know what I find very interesting though is that it says Microsoft unveiled Windows, it's the least expensive version. It's the least expensive version, Windows 11. Didn't we just read in the other article that it was going to be free?
It's probably inexpensive if you don't already have it.
Oh, yeah. Man, to think that we're still in a world where you have to pay for an operating system. I mean, okay, I will give Apple that. They have embraced that culture where you just don't pay for the operating system. So, anyway. Okay, moving on real quick here. There's some new Google Drive, like, security stuff. Soon public links to an untold number of items stored on Google Drive and YouTube will stop working. In the name of enhanced security, Google is changing the way it handles link storage or link sharing on both services. And while active users may be able to opt out of the switch, files and videos abandoned or unused or inactive accounts may simply slip out of view forever. So basically, shared links are now part of a newer system that Google says increases security. So yeah, there you go. If you've got any old links that you're sharing and things like that, you might want to update those.
Fun.
Um, oh, if you use a Google Workspace account managed by your employer, school, or other organization, it's a little more complicated. The administrator or IT department can choose to opt out entirely, apply the update to everyone with no opt out possible, or apply the update that allow individual users to remove it from specific files. Interesting. So there's that. Oh yeah, and this real quick here. The Supreme Court says a school can't punish a cheerleader for swearing on Snapchat. The Supreme Court says a Pennsylvania school can't punish a cheerleader for swearing on Snapchat. The 8-1 ruling determined the students' rights to free expression outweighed the school's interest in preventing potentially disruptive speech. In this case, a snap captioned F school, F softball, F cheer, F everything.
Oh, man.
So this teen delivered the majority opinion this morning, upholding an appeals. Excuse me. Justice Breyer delivered the majority opinion this morning, upholding an appeals court decision from the Third Circuit.
What took this to court anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. He said that the student, identified as BL in court documents, shouldn't have been suspended from her cheerleading team for a vulgar post about school sports. While public schools may have a special interest in regulating some off-campus student speech, the special interest offered by the school are not sufficient to overcome BL's interest in free expression in their case, he wrote. Let's see. So the teen had unsuccessfully tried out for varsity cheerleading, as well as a position on a private softball team, and vented about the results on Snapchat, which I think is fair, including a follow-up snap that said, love how me and another student get told we need a year of junior varsity before we make varsity, but that doesn't matter to anyone else. Another student complained about the snap, and the school issued a 1-year suspension because she used profanity in connection with a school extracurricular activity on social media. Really? Did you hear there was a senior class that basically forked the football field? So they took a bunch of forks and like stuck them in all over the football field, and like the school administrators were like pissed and basically like super overreacted. Did you hear about that?
Forks?
Yep, plastic forks that were just stuck into the ground.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, for context, there were a few students that actually like entered the building and like rearranged a bunch of stuff, but like there was no destruction of property or anything like that. So now one could argue that, entering the building without consent is trespassing, and I will give them that, but just placing a bunch of forks in the football field, like, come on. That's harmless. Yeah, somebody has to clean it up, but like, in retrospect. Anyway. So the ruling notes that the team posted her message outside of school hours and away from the school's campus. Profanity notwithstanding, the message criticized a decision the school had made. BL uttered the kind of pure speech to which, were she an adult, the First Amendment would provide strong protection, it says. And while the school cracked down on her for posting vulgar language on social media, there was no evidence that it punished students for genuinely swearing outside the classroom. Okay, there's probably some truth to that. Yeah, so anyway, okay, well, that's a thing that happened. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah. anyway. All right. Well, that's really all I got for the show today. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us, and I think we'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. I think. Let me see. This is the part where I have to check and see if things are actually normal or not next week. Let's see. So today is the 24th. Next week, Thursday, and the week after. Yeah, we should be good to continue. Some scheduling conflicts have basically prevented us from doing the last couple weeks of shows and stuff like that. So anyway, but we should be good moving forward, I think. And yeah, we'll see you back same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining us. If you liked it, thumbs up. If not, you know what to do. Get subscribed if you haven't done that. All, fun stuff and things like that. And yeah, we'll see you later. Goodbye.